time in a lot of places, not everywhere, but in a lot of places. So, and player movement was pretty much unfettered by strong league rules. So he had the dough, and he could get the big offers, and people came to play for him.
Talking to James Overmyer, the author of Cum Posey of the Homestead Grays, a biography of the Negro League's owner and Hall of Famer. So what can you tell us about the East-West League?
The East-West League it's interesting. I wish I knew a little more about what was going on in Posey's mind. Of course, he came from a literate, highly literate, not just literate, but a highly literate family. His mother helped found a reading club for black middle-class women in Pittsburgh, and his father was a major businessman. Posey wrote a column for the Pittsburgh Courier, a sports column, and he commented on many things, but he never really talked a lot about why he founded the East-West League. He launched the East-West League right into the teeth of the Depression. After the first Negro National League had collapsed because of the Depression, and it bombed. It was his biggest flop. It was the only way he was his biggest flop his entire professional career. It was dead within halfway through the season, around the 4th of July. Boom, no league.
Not his best idea.
No, not his best idea. The idea was good. The timing was just, it couldn't have been worse. and I don't know, and that helped launch him and the Grays into a couple years of very serious financial trouble, which they did emerge from. But yeah, that was the stepping stone to his worst years as a Major League Baseball owner.
All right, so
I don't know why he did it when he did it. I know why he did it, so he could be in charge. But I don't know why he did it then is beyond me.
Yeah, right.
I guess he wasn't a good economist.
Definitely not.
So you touched on this a little bit, but I want to move out of baseball for a second. Can you lay out for us Posey's time competing for the Colored Basketball World Championship?
Yes, he started. He played at. He played basketball in high school from Homestead High. He went to Penn State. He was apparently the first black athlete at Penn State, and one of the first black students. And he made the varsity by his sophomore year, but before the end of his sophomore year, he was an ex-student because he apparently did not study. He played basketball. He flunked out, in other words. He dropped out before he could flunk out.
That's a pretty good thought there. If you're going to flunk out, you might as well drop out.
Well, he dropped out. And he took a cup. He went to the University of Pittsburgh a few years later for a little while, but then he never did get a college degree. But not that it mattered in the long run.
He went to Duquesne also, right?
Well, he played for Duquesne.
He played for
Duquesne, which was not shy about recruiting people to play for their sports teams who were not necessarily enrolled at the college.
Oh, lovely.
Duquesne honors him as its first African-American athlete. I was the registrar there, did a search of the records for me and confirmed what has generally become the accepted fact that he never went to school there. He played for the basketball team for 3 seasons. Was one of his best players on the team. He played under an assumed name, which wasn't very assumed. It was a very, very thin cover. Charles Cumbert, he called, as opposed to Cumberland Posey. And later on, I mean, he made light of it a few times. It was like a secret that wasn't a secret. But apparently, that wasn't a big shocker. Colleges did this a lot, and Duquesne did it more than a lot, particularly with the football team.
Talking to James Overmyer, the author of Cum Posey of the Homestead Grays, a biography of the Negro League's owner and Hall of Famer. And James, I'll get you out on this. What can you tell us about in the sportive realm?
In the sportive realm was one of the names on his column. He wrote the column from about 1925 until, early during World War II. He wrote a few columns after that, but he was pretty much wrapped up as a columnist by about 42 or 43. His column changed names from time to time. In the sportive realm was one of them, and it was Posey's pointed paragraphs, and boy, were they pointed sometimes. He went back and forth between just sort of being an information. Here's what's happening in the league, baseball league. Here's what's happening in black college athletics in the Northeast. He'd throw out a lot of information, and he knew a lot of things, but sometimes he would be very critical of his colleagues, his fellow owners. And he was, I think he was probably not beloved by his fellow owners because, number one, his team, when it got good, won all the time, and number two, he was, not opposed to bending the rules a little on player acquisitions, but then he would also slam them in his column more than once. And it's kind of interesting because it's like you didn't have the opportunity to interview people like that in those days. The black papers only came out once a week, and the sports writers pretty much kept to the game stories and things like that. But it's like Posey interviewing himself all the time and giving us all this information that he thought it's what he thought was important. And his columns just make a book about him different than almost any other of the black owners, because they really didn't have that much to say in public, with a few exceptions.
All right, James, thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that was James Overmyer. I think I cut him off there at the end.
Probably by accident. I'm sure it's okay.
Nah, it's all good. That was very good. He's the author of Cum Posey of the Homestead Grays, a biography of the Negro League's owner and Hall of Famer. Let's take a quick break, but first, I gotta tell you about a great show that we have on this station. It's Old Country Road on Sundays at 8 p.m. It's hosted by my pal, Michael Anthony. Classic country music is showcased along with interviews with legendary artists. We'll be talking to the golf guru next on Beyond the Game on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Yeah. Hey, check it out. I'm gonna need you to turn up your volume.
No, I'm supposed to say that. Come on. Hey, look, check it out. It's your guy, DJ Steph, the saucy man himself. Tune into It's Saucy, where I play nothing but hip-hop and reggae music.
1, 2, 3, hit me!
Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. on the Voice of Nassau Community College on 90.3 WHPC.
Listen!
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's perfect. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
90.3 WHPC reminds you that this year, thousands of adults will finish their high school diplomas. None of them will do it alone.
If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Thousands of free centers across the country are waiting to help you pass your high school equivalency test and finish your diploma.
Take the first step towards graduation and find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
No one gets a diploma alone. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation, the Ad Council, and the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Jacob Valk. Jacob Valk. Jacob Valks.
I have to play this because you're here.
Yeah, I know. I've got the metaphorical gun to you.
Be careful, because someone out of context could have heard that.
I said metaphorical.
Maybe they didn't hear metaphorical.
Well, then I'll say it louder. Metaphorical! You're listening to Beyond the Game on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. We are live twice a week, Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 3 p.m. I am Jacob Valk. You can follow me on Twitter at RealJacobValk. Sitting across from me and running the board today is Eric Fischetti, who you can follow on Twitter at Sergeant Fish. Thank you very much again. Number to call if you have something on your mind is 516-572-7440. So Francesco Molinari, Rita Monti is going to kill me for that pronunciation, won the Open Championship. For more on this subject, we're joined by Brandon, the golf guru Johnson, via the phone. Brandon, how are you, buddy? It's been too long.
How are you all? I'm doing great.
Brandon, I forgot what you sounded like.
Brandon, I've missed you. What's been going on with you?
Man, you know, I'm all into the golf, man.
Yeah,
golf,
absolutely.
Working the radio, all types of stuff, man.
All right. So what were your thoughts on the tournament?
Oh, man, I think it was a great field. You know, I like what I've seen out of Tiger Woods. I know you're going to ask me a question about him, but I like what I've seen out of him this tournament. You know, being ranked from, like, number 100 to, like, number 50 now. He qualifies for the Bridgestone Invitational coming up in a few weeks. And it was a solid, you know, round by a lot of players. They took advantage of, you know, the golf course. You know, later on, like, the people that teed off later in the day, you know, had a great time. But there was a lot of times in the morning when it was raining a lot, so a lot of guys couldn't get, like, any good scores. And, like, Justin Rose, he just made the cut on Friday, and you see he ended up being, you know, 6 or 7 under towards the end of the tournament. So, you know, a lot of big names like Spieth, you know, he came up close, but he was short again. You know, sad to see him, you know, fail on his putts, you know, when he could have really probably won, you know what I mean? But shout out to Francesco, you know, if I said that right, you know. And,
you don't even know?
He did pretty good. He did pretty good. I was surprised. You know, he was solid for that last round. It's even, you know, heading into the back nine and going against Tiger, and then all of a sudden, you know, guys slip up, they miss a few putts, and he wins.
You know what's funny? You bring up Tiger Woods. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I don't watch golf on a regular basis, but Tiger Woods brought life back to the sport. People who don't normally watch golf were locked in just because of Tiger Woods. He rejuvenated. He rejuvenated the sport on Sunday.
Golf does better when Tiger does well.
It's true. It's true.
There's no question about that.
I mean, it's just
absolutely.
It's just crazy to see how far this man has come. You know, Brandon?
Yeah, no, I agree, Eric. You know what? It's a tough stretch. He's, you know, a proven, you know, player that, you know, knows how to win tournaments. But, you know, he is older now. We got to remember that. And his back is not the same. You know, he's looking good now, but who knows who he's going to look like the next tournament. You know what I mean? So we always got to remember that. But it's good to see him definitely, you know, compete. You know, definitely finish in the top 10. I mean, that's a big move. You know what I mean, for him.
Now you hit on it. You hit on it a little earlier. How bad was the course? Because I heard people complaining about it like it was horrible. How bad really was it?
No, I don't think it was horrible. It just all depends on, like, you know, like it's a traditional links course. So you see how the fairways are dried out.
Yeah.
And the greens are green, like really green. Like that's just the whole style of it, man. I don't think, you know, the Open did a bad job with the course. I mean, I think it was pretty solid. Like I said, when you play overseas, you know, in those type of areas, it's a weird summer. You're going to get a lot of rain. You're going to get a lot of wind. So I think the golf course was in pretty good shape. I mean, the fairways are rolling as soon as they, you know, hit the fairways off the tee. So, I mean, it was pretty solid, I would say.
All right. Now, you know I am not a golf fan at all. So when Molinari won, it surprised the hell out of me. But you're the golf guru for a reason. So was he on your radar, or was this a complete surprise?
This was out of the blue. I mean, I understand. You know, I looked at, you know, what he did before he came into the Open. He won a couple tournaments. He was hot, Jacob. You know what I mean? And when a guy is hot and he's playing, you know, great golf, it does translate, you know, into like a major championship. But no, I did not have him. You know, my leaderboard, I had Spieth again. You know, a guy like Dustin Johnson, who, I don't know, comes up short in these type of big tournaments. But, you know, definitely I want to see Tiger do well. But, no, I didn't see, you know, Francesco, you know, coming. I did not see it at all, I'll be honest with you.
Did you think Tiger would do as well as he did?
Oh, definitely. I felt like he was going to, you know, have at least top 20 finish. That
wow.
I'm not going to say top 10 or anything, but top 20. I felt like, he's coming back. You've seen how he's been playing recently.
Yeah,
he's been
joke,